During all this while I was pregnant and I wasn't aware. I was on drugs and I was pregnant. I was just 14, I was almost raped 4 times and I tried committing suicide 6 times. And I've worked as a maid, I've worked as a waitress, I've slept on metro stations, I've slept in gurdwaras. I was not ready for it. I mean, I was like, I'm not mentally stable. How am I going to take care of a child? And then I went for the ultrasound. I called my ex-boyfriend and I told him, I want to get it aborted. And when we went there and I heard the heartbeat, my God. I've always craved for love, like something to call my own, like somebody who I can rely on.
Hi Anmol, it's so nice to chat with you. आपकी जब Instagram feed देखती हूँ मैं तो it's so inspiring. आपने कहाँ से शुरुआत की, कैसे आगे बढ़ी, how you so जिन causes के बारे में आप बहुत passionate हैं, which is body shaming, body positivity, उन causes को आप लेकर इतनी vocal हैं and you're driving so much. Like it's almost like a movement जो आप drive कर रही हैं. So it is just so nice to have young girls like you talk about this. आपकी जो कहानी है जिसमें आपका बच्चा कैसे आया and then you went on, you had the courage to have him, being a single parent. तो इन सारी चीजों के बारे में बात करेंगे. Tell me Anmol, you said that there were so many complexities and जो बचपन में आपने deal किया है कहीं ना कहीं अब जाके it's hitting you in the face. And इसी दौरान and also आपकी जो spiritual journey है, I feel कहीं ना कहीं those come from very big life changing events, right? And one of them was when you decided to have your child. Tell us a little bit about that.
I'll go a little back in the time for that. So, for you to understand the story better. I was 14 when I ran from my house, and there's another story to it. And I think this is probably not ever I've spoken in any of my interview because we've never gotten to that deep level. So during that journey when I ran from my house, I've seen a lot of things, like things I wouldn't wish on anyone. And my parents tried looking for me, but I was long gone. Like for a year and a half, they weren't even aware whether I was dead or alive. And I know it was a lot for them. I mean, now I'm a parent, I realize it that I shouldn't have done it. But again, I do not regret anything because I'm very happy wherever I'm in my life right now. So during those 1.5 years, I was just 14, I mean, I don't want to go deep into it, but long story short is that I was almost raped 4 times and I tried committing suicide 6 times. And from Agra to Delhi to Ludhiana to Amritsar to Jalandhar to Bombay. That was my 1.5 year journey. And I've worked as a maid, I've worked as a waitress, I've slept on metro stations, I've slept in gurdwaras. So all that, I think, like I said, that I've seen so much in life. That's what I meant by it, that I've seen pain, suffering, misery, everything face to face. So you can never really tell what's happening, so you should always be polite and kind to the other person because you don't know what that person has gone through. So now coming back to this pregnancy thing, since I've already gone through so much in my life, I mean, of course, after that I went back home after a year and a half. Things were okay, but I never stayed back home. I went back to Bombay. I pursued what I was pursuing. And I think that's one of the things that I've never really been dependent on my parents. I was 14 since I've been on myself financially, mentally, howsoever, like never seeked any advice from them, learned from my own experience, made mistakes, got hurt, learned from it. So now this pregnancy thing, so I mean, all my life, now that you know about my past journey, I've never really had that emotional bond with anybody, that I've always craved for love, like something to call my own, like somebody who I can rely on. I never, after ninth, I mean, I had finished my ninth. I never went to school after that. I never did college. Okay. I mean, I did whatever paper, vote, jo bhi dete and that, that thing. So when I ran from my house, मुझे English का spelling भी नहीं आता था proper because I was studying from UP board, and that is, I mean, I've just learned everything on the journey on while way back, you know. So yeah, I mean, and when I had broken up with my former partner.
How old were you then?
26. I was 26 when I came to know that I was pregnant, and that was a long relationship, and I finally thought that, you know, I had. So now you understand that why that breakup shattered me into pieces, because I look back and I was like, what is this? Like, is this my life? Like, and then for a moment I just didn't want to live anymore. I was like, no dude, I just can't, because it just suddenly, you know, everything, the past, because I think I never healed from my past. I have like a lot of these buried books in my heart, you know, a lot of chapters, and because everything kuch na kuch keeps on happening, so I never really got the time to heal myself, or and since I've been on a spiritual journey, now I understand the meaning of healing and how it is really important to talk about your traumas and discuss it, not with everybody, with right people who understand and who respect what it is, because a lot of people are like, hey, you're just thinking too much, and that hurts, you know, that hurts. When that breakup happened, I was like, you know, this is not done, you know. Now, I mean, all my life I've been running, my heart has been broken, I've worked my ass off, what am I doing? I just don't want to live anymore. And now I didn't want to feel anything, so I decided to take drugs. I was into major drugs and I didn't want to feel anything. Now, then one day when I tried taking my life, I wrote a suicide note and I was just crying constantly. And I looked on Google, you know, for a counselor's number, because there was this resilience which, like, I wanted to die, but the resilience is like, no, you can't. So I got this counselor's number and I called him up, spoke for 3 hours, I cried, and I decided that I'm gonna take counseling seriously, you know. So I think 15 दिन हुए थे just when I thought कि अच्छा चलो थोड़ा बहुत drug abuse भी थोड़ा कम हो रहा था. I was still doing it, but and during all this while I was pregnant and I wasn't aware. I was on drugs and I was pregnant. Dude, I'm telling you, this baby.
आपको पता नहीं था. You didn't know that you were pregnant.
I wasn't aware. And I'm telling you, my baby is a pure blessing. He's a miracle that while he was in my belly, I was doing all sorts of drugs. In fact, initially, when I came to know I was, you know, pregnant, and because this time I did not think much. I tried drinking as much as I could, because I mean, I have never said that before, but of course, I mean, I was not ready for it. I mean, I was like, I'm not mentally stable. How am I going to take care of a child? I was already going through so much. I'm into drug abuse. I'm not financially stable. What am I going to do? So, and then I went for the ultrasound. I called my ex-boyfriend and I told him, this is the thing. Let's, you know, I want to get it aborted and this and that. So he was on board with it. But then for the ultrasound, I went with my sister, and when we went there and I heard the heartbeat, my God. And that, I was like, and my sister knew that abhi ye flip maregi.
Mind switch ho raha hai.
Like abhi ye flip maregi. So the moment we step out of the this ultrasound center, she's like, Anmol, emotions mein aake decision mat lena. Maine kaha shut up and let's just go home. And I was just crying. So I had this phone jiska na mic dhang se kaam nahi karta tha, so I usually used to talk on speaker. And I've always been a universe believer, you know, like getting signs from the universe and stuff. So now I'm sitting there crying कि यार कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा, because it's a life-changing decision, you know. So now I'm like crying and praying, God, please give me a sign, universe, please give me a sign. And suddenly I get a call from an unknown number, and I pick up the phone, I put it on speaker. I kid you not, every time I get goosebumps when I think about it. A year-old baby boy is gagaing, goo-gooing on the phone. And I'm like, and we all started laughing. I was like, yaar, ye kya signs mil rahe hain? And that was it. I was like, I'm keeping the baby. Screw everyone.
Wow.
if you're with me, you're with me. If you're against me, then you're against me. I will do it everything on my own. My sister, उसने थोड़ा सा समझाने की कोशिश की, but then she knows me. She's like, अभी इसका दिमाग कोई नहीं बदल सकता. You know, once she's made her mind, she will. So she's like, don't worry, you know, I'll be with you. And so I knew in a way that it's gonna be me versus the world, you know, because unmarried single mom in India, my God. You know, the one reason that I got the sign, and then I was like, maybe the sign is that all my life I wanted something to call my own. Like, so I was like, that the love that I have inside of me, you know, I wanna shower somebody who's worth it with that love. My son is totally worth it.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of the bestest decision that I've made in my life till yet, you know.
Yeah.
So not for a single thing, no matter if I have to redo it over and over and again, I wouldn't change a thing. I would go through that pain again, that mental trauma, whatever, because it's totally worth it.
And also tell me, how has the journey been after? So the delivery or up kaisa hai? Like, how is it to raise your baby and how is it to be a single mother?
It has its ups and downs, you know. I mean, abhi Holi tha beech mein, whenever there are festivals. I mean, I think eventually, abhi to 1.5 saal ka hi hai Jason, I think eventually I'll get used to with it and I will be able to wrap my head around it. Like, you know, I see these families celebrating these festivals, so it does break my heart a little at times, you know. I cry and all, but I think then of course this Holi, you know, I was crying, and but then I came back home. I played Holi with Jace. I even have this video on my Instagram. So initially it was difficult. Matlab, I was not able to look myself in the mirror. I was 95 kgs when I delivered him, and before pregnancy I was 55 kgs. So I had gained good amount of weight. And I was into depression, major depression. I mean, I didn't want to click pictures anymore. My belly didn't look like my belly, you know. It had scars and the stretch marks and everything, and I just didn't feel like myself. Although it was amazing, you know, Jace made it amazing. But whenever, you know, I would see these friends, like, or whenever they're planning to come and meet me, that's when the reality used to hit me. Okay, now I have to go out and meet people and stuff. So that really tore me apart. But one day, I don't know, something happened. Like, I gave myself a pep talk. I was like, that, why are you worried? You've just made a baby. Imagine, understand this, your body is so freaking powerful that it just created a whole goddamn new life, and you are like literally being hard on your body. You should love your body, man. You're able to do it. These stretch marks and everything you have. So I have many tattoos. I was like, get a tattoo done on your stretch marks, embrace them. And रही वेट की बात, तो ठीक है, give yourself some time. You've just gone through major changes, and that pep talk really worked to me myself. And I was like, and suddenly just my mind, and then I flipped again. So these are all perks of BPD, you know, these impulses, high and low impulses. And I just flipped, and then I suddenly started loving my body, and that's when I started posting about body positivity. So it's all in here. It's all in here. Nobody really cares how you look, as long as you're not thinking about it. If you're not comfortable with your own body, it's there on your face. And if you're comfortable with yourself, no matter what you wear, you know, you're not gonna be bothered, trust me. And you will glow differently when you love your own self, when you love how you carry yourself, when you're confident from within. You glow differently, and that's actually true, because I feel like I'm the most beautiful person from inside and out, and everybody should feel that way, you know.
So well said. And you just made my day. Like, itna अच्छे से you said it. Anmol, it was such a pleasure talking to you. आपके साथ बात करके, I mean, there have been just so many moments, so many quotes, so many lines, so many experiences that I'm taking back with me. Thank you so much, and lots of love to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.